Hi Saurav and welcome once again on YourPedia.
Hi sir, how are you? Thank you.
Wonderful. So Saurav, this is my second interaction with you, and you are sitting presently in very prestigious NTU Nanyang Technological University campus of Singapore.
Yes, sir.
I remember meeting you a couple of months back in the campus, and you
Yeah,
showed the entire campus. I'm thankful to you for that.
I'm grateful to you. So I got this chance to show you, and I wanted to show you the campus. So yeah, that was it.
Okay, and you are sort of presently doing PhD. My first interaction with you was when you just got admission in PhD, and
Yeah,
there were only a couple of days when you were in the campus. But now
yeah,
you have spent some time in PhD, and this particular interaction today is going to be even more informative for the students and valuable for
yeah.
the students. So, Saurabh, I want you to tell all my viewers here first about you very briefly. Maybe many of them may not have seen your first interaction with me. So, very briefly about you and your academic journey.
So I did my bachelor's from BIT Mr. Ranchi, and then I did my master's from IIT BHU, both in mechanical, and then currently I'm doing my PhD in NTU in mechanical engineering also. But my research work is on material fabrication. So yeah.
Okay. So, how much time do you spend now in this campus, Saurabh?
I joined in January, so it's almost an year.
It is, sorry, 1 year, right?
Yeah, almost 1 year.
Okay. So, how have been your experience of 1 year?
It was good. The one thing which I found difference between Indian universities and in NTU, that was the funding thing. Like if you want to do something in India, you will see that you will have to look for the funding. Like
Mm.
there are a lot of problems with that. And then other than that is the facilities. Like we have almost everything here. Whatever you look for, you will get here.
Mm.
So these are the two most important things which is required if you want to do for
Mm.
like if you want to make a career in research. So
Mm.
which was I think like which is lacking there in India.
Mm.
So,
So, Saurabh, when we talk about PhD, let me tell you,
yeah.
there are certain misconception or
Hmm.
misperceptions among students for PhD.
Hmm.
They believe that PhD
Okay.
is a dead end, and PhD ke baad teaching is the only option, and PhD is very boring. You don't enjoy the
Okay.
life in PhD.
Okay.
Why I'm asking this
Okay.
question to you? Because when I visited your campus and I
Hmm.
moved along around the campus with you,
Hmm.
and you told me that you are involved in many activities.
Yeah.
The kind of activities in which BTech student, graduate students, get involved. And you told me, sir, I'm participating in this activity, that
Hmm.
activity, so many things you told. तो वहां से
Yeah.
ऐसा लगा कि नहीं, पीएचडी में तो तुम पूरा अच्छे तरीके से एक बैलेंस बनाए
Yeah.
हुए हो, यू आर एंजॉयिंग दैट दोज एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर स्टफ आल्सो, एंड यू
Yeah.
आर डूइंग योर रिसर्च आल्सो. So I
Yeah.
want to know through you, is
Hmm.
PhD a boring course, or how do we see this?
Sir, actually, I will say that it depends on the person and
Hmm.
how you are tackling that.
Hmm.
Because there are some people like who are like thoroughly engaged in the research work and they don't do anything out of their lab. Like
Hmm.
you will find them almost every time in the lab working there only.
Hmm.
But then for me, I don't take it that way. Rather, what I do during my work hours, I work there. But then
Hmm.
like if I have some time, if I have some spare time, I just utilize it in some other works. And yeah, I am kind of involved in a lot of clubs and all, clubs activities and also like yeah, I'm kind of making this balance, trying to make a balance between my professional and personal life. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's it.
Okay,
It's
sort of.
not at all a boring thing. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's interesting domain, right?
yeah.
So when I met you, you told me how you could get the PhD position in NTU and with your
Mm,
professor presently, and she was
mm.
looking for some candidate. So can you
Yeah.
share that experience with us once again? How did you
Mm.
get PhD position in NTU?
If you want to like if you're looking for a PhD position in NTU, the first thing you should look is like you need to look for a supervisor, like
Okay.
under whom you want to do your PhD. And for that you will have to like go through the profile of different professors and what exactly are they working.
Hmm.
And yeah, if their research requirements matches with your research skills, then you
Hmm.
can write a mail to that professor, and then he or she will like if they will find your profile interesting, they will
Hmm.
definitely revert back to you. Like that's the first process which you have to do if you want to get into PhD.
But I believe students in India, no, they don't take this route. They don't normally mail professors. Number one, they don't see their profiles, and number two, they don't mail the professor. There's a hesitation in that. So, do you consider seeing the profile of the professor and mailing them as a very important step?
Yeah, that's the initial step, and if you are like skipping that initial step, like you cannot skip that step. You'll have to go through that thing.
So, sort of, do we have something like direct PhD opportunities also in NTU? I mean, immediately after BTech to PhD, if you want to go?
Yeah, there are some like I know a lot of students who have joined PhD just after their
graduation.
They're like their graduation or bachelor's. Yeah, so you can go for that.
And another thing which I found, I visited NTU and I visited NUS campus also. Another thing which I found, Saurabh, that Singapore is a small country in the vicinity or neighborhood of India. India is a huge country, and I observed two things. Number one, I did not find many students and professors in NTU or NUS from India. I mean, compared to other countries like Southeast Asian nations or China, I did not find that proportional number. And second, I found that students from South India are more compared to North India. Now, you are the right person. I can ask this question. You are from North India, and also, what is the reason why from India people are not there in these campuses? They are world-reputed campuses, and especially from North India.
Actually, sir, if you focus on this part, I would say basically majority of the people are from Tamil Nadu. I don't know what is the reason behind that, but then like you will find a vast community of people from Tamil Nadu who are living and working in Singapore, and even they are PRs here. So this kind of a very like you'll have to go in the past and see like how these people have migrated here or how they have shifted here.
Like Canada is for Punjab and Singapore is for Tamil Nadu.
Singapore is Tamil Nadu. Yeah, it's something like that. So you see a lot of South Indian people, but then yeah, compared to them, the North Indian people are very less in number.
So, do you find many professors there? I mean, from India also, or what is the situation like?
Yeah, there are a lot of professors who are Indian, and the proportion is quite less compared to other Southeast Asian countries, or like if you compare to China, that number is quite less. But still, there are a lot of professors. Like even in Department of Mechanical only, I can say that there are more than 10 professors who are Indian.
Okay, Saurabh, now, I was interacting with Ayush also. You are already guiding him also. He joined MS program through GATE and all. So that means student can join this campus through GATE exam also.
Yeah.
So for admission into PhD also GATE is required, or is any other exam also required? GRE, IELTS or TOEFL is also required?
Actually, the first thing which is required is either GRE, GMAT or GATE.
Okay.
So, sorry. If you have the GRE score or GMAT score, you can provide that, or in spite of that, you can submit your GATE scores also. Okay. That's also accepted. And apart from that, for the English proficiency, your TOEFL or IELTS score card, IELTS is required. So either TOEFL or IELTS, that's one thing. And the second thing is your GRE, GMAT or GATE.
But I was interacting with Ayush also, and he said that sir, my IELTS or TOEFL was that was replaced by, I think he gave some certificate that he has done his engineering in English or something. So that document.
Actually, they say that like if you have your bachelor degree in English language, you don't need to submit either TOEFL or IELTS. But sometimes if they have a lot of applications, then they like on this basis, like if someone do not have this IELTS or TOEFL, they like reject their applications. So to be on the safe side, it's better to submit the IELTS or TOEFL score.
So Saurabh, when I interacted with you in the campus that time, I was discussing with you that what about weekends? I mean, are the students busy with the weekends also, or they enjoy the weekends? So as a research scholar, I mean, what is the life of research scholar typically in campus? How do you spend your weekends? Is it that you keep yourself busy, professors keeps you busy the way that is which is seen in India, or that is different?
I think like see, if I have a lot of work, if I have some pending works to do, I spend my weekends in lab, or otherwise I go out or I just play some sport or something. So it depends on the timing, like which time and like what amount of work you have like pending. So it depends on that.
And sort of what about career opportunities post graduation, like MS के बाद और PhD के बाद typically किस तरीके का career opportunities explore होता है students के लिए?
Okay. Sir, after masters, actually, you can easily get a job. So that's one thing. Like you can go to some industry, or you can go to some. If you want to work as a RA, also like research associate, that you can also do after your masters. And if you want to like go for PhD, that's also a very good option after masters. And after PhD, I would say, after PhD, one thing which you can do is to go for postdoc.
Okay.
Like you can be a research fellow in any of the research labs in NTU, or if you want to go outside of NTU in other universities, that you can also do. And other than that, you can get into some industry. Like a lot of industries come to recruit only PhD people. So this option is also there.
And I know that Singapore is a very well connected, and collaborations are there with the other countries like America and all. They have very good collaborations like that. So does that help you during PhD and after PhD? Like maybe postdoctoral fellowship, you can land up in a top universities or globally or something like that?
Actually, sir, like see, mostly if I'm doing a research work on some particular field, so we used to have like collaboration with other universities, those who are working on that particular field. So if you want to go in that university, that will be kind of helpful for me, because like I know those people and I have worked with them, like not in a proper physically being there, but then I have worked with them. So it's kind of like you're already connected with them, so that will help you. So it's a good thing.
No, sort of, I'll ask you a very basic question which students have, and that is like, how much money we need to invest for pursuing these courses? So very roughly approximate parameter, if you can tell me, for MS and for PhD.
So firstly, I will start with PhD. For PhD, you don't need to give any fees or something.
Okay.
Like it's like fully funded.
Okay.
So like most of the PhD, like if you're doing a full-time PhD, it's fully funded.
Okay.
And for part-time PhDs, you'll have to submit the tuition fees.
Okay.
And along in PhDs, like you will be given a stipend also. Okay. So that's one thing. So like in PhD, you don't have to like spend a single
penny.
Nothing to worry. Yeah, nothing to worry about that. And for a master's, some of the master's courses are under scholarship. Like I know some people who are doing their master's by research work, and they are on like full 100% scholarship. So they also don't need to submit any fees and all. But then other than that, there are some masters like coursework also, where you have to pay the fees, like tuition fees. Okay. So these tuition fees are on semester basis or are on some module basis, like how many modules are you taking for your semester. So based on that, you will be charged the fees. So one semester, like for one semester is around I'd say 10 lakh rupees, 8 to 10 lakh rupees for one semester. So like including both semesters, it's like 15 to 20 lakh rupees.
So
masters.
MS is for 2 semesters only, or it is for 3 or 4 semesters?
MSc is 2 semesters only.
2 semesters only, right? And after that is even better, because after 2 semesters, then you can land up in job market, right?
Yeah. Like okay. That's a very that's a very good way to land up to get a job in Singapore. You can enroll yourself in a master's course of study there for 1 year, and you will like very easily get a job. But then now is the time of recession, so there you might find some difficulty, but then obviously this time will go after some time. So it's like kind of very easy to get a job in Singapore after doing a master's, either in NUS or in NTU.
Okay. Now, Saurabh, let me ask you a question. You are from very good college. Your graduation and post-graduations are from very good colleges in India. Now, think of a student who is not having a background of such colleges. Like they are not very good colleges, normal college they are. But he has credentials. Like he has a good academic background. College may not be a big name for him, but then academic background is good, and he is GATE qualified, and research he must have done. So what is the chance he stands, to get admission in prestigious universities like NTU?
Sir, I would say for this, your college name helps. I would not say it doesn't help. It helps. But it's not that if you don't have a very good college name for your bachelor's or for your master's, like you will not land up in a good university. It doesn't happen in that way. Rather, they look for your transcript, they look for your credentials, like what is your how much is the CGPA, and then like what all research skills you have, what all if you do you have any publication or not. So they focus on these things more rather than on the college name. So if you have a research skills, if you have some good project experiences, they will definitely do.
No, sort of what happens is like when a student is in the process of applying in different universities globally, then he is to be he is to optimize his entire process, time, money, everything. And then he is to be very meticulous कि मेरे को कहाँ apply करना है, कैसे apply करना है. So I want to ask you very precisely, what are the parameters that students should focus or see whether he will be in position to get opportunity in NTU and all. So what are the main important parameters or credentials which he should have so that he makes his assessment कि हाँ मेरे को admission मिल जाएगा. How student gets to know कि हाँ मेरे को NTU apply करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए, वो कौन से credentials हैं he should focus on.
So sir, इसके लिए like first I will say that you need to clear the qualifying criteria. There are some qualifying criteria which is like you should clear. The first one of them is you need to have either GATE, GRE or GMAT scores.
Okay.
So for GATE, I would say you need to have like more than 90%.
Okay.
So if you have that, that's the first criteria. Or in place of GATE, you can also submit your GRE scorecard or GMAT scorecard.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. And the second thing is the English proficiency test.
Okay.
So either TOEFL or IELTS. So among the both of them, you need to have either of them. So if you have 6.5 score band in IELTS, you can that is the minimum qualifying criteria.
Okay.
So you need to have either of these two. You require one. And then you need to have, like, if you are applying for a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, you need to have that transcripts, like the degree from your college. So if you don't have the degree, you can submit your provisional certificate. So that's one thing. And then, yeah, these are the three only qualifying criteria.
So what about other CGPA and all, sort of?
CGPA, they, like out of 10, they prefer students having a CGPA of more than 8. Or out of 4, it's like 4. Out of 5, it's 4. 4 or 4.5. So if you have a CGPA more than 8, it's considered as good CGPA.
So if somebody is having these credentials, then he should apply. He can think of applying, right?
Yeah, and other than that, the required thing is the letter of recommendation. You need to have 2 letters of recommendations from a professor. If someone you have worked in some industry, they can also give you this letter of recommendation.
So if I'm to now, if I summarize whatever you said, for student, if he's to do his assessment whether he should or not, then he should have a good some exam like GRE or GATE. That is number one. Then he should have some English proficiency test like IELTS. IELTS, and you mentioned some bands also for that 6.5, I think. Then he said CGPA, okay, 8 plus CGPA will work. Some research experience if he has, wonderful. And LOR, these are the things if he has, some letter of recommendation if he has, then he can think of applying, right?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Saurabh, can you tell me, there are 2 universities in Singapore, very prestigious universities, NUS and NTU. What is the difference between these 2 universities?
Sir, actually, they are both in the top rankings, the first thing. And second thing, that if you want to go for material sciences research, you should prefer NTU over NUS because the rankings only. They are both in the top credits. So you cannot discriminate any of them from the one from the other. So they are both in the top grade. So they are kind of the same.
Okay, the similar level.
Yeah, they're on the similar level.
Okay. Saurabh, now let me ask you something related to foreign internships, actually.
Yeah.
We see in India also that summers when students get 1 or 2 months off, they go to universities, they go to IITs, they go to research labs, they go to industries for internship, maybe 1 month or 2 months or 6 months. Do we have culture of international internships also in NTU? I mean, can a student from India come and join internship in NTU?
Yeah, recently a guy is coming from one university from India in my research lab.
Okay.
So for 2 months he is coming as an intern.
Okay. So what is the criteria for that?
You need to look for the positions. Like if someone has any if someone has like opened any research internship position in his lab, that's one thing. And or either you can, like, if you want to work in some sort of field which any supervisor or any professor is working on, you can just directly mail to that professor that, yeah, I want to work under you. So mostly for internship position, they just hire if you want to look for that. If you have the required skills, they will hire you, like they will take you.
Obviously, because I don't think university pays you for internship. You have to spend money from your pocket, right?
Yeah. Some professors, they do pay.
Achha, they do pay, huh?
Yeah.
So that is even better. But staying and everything can be there inside the university for students.
No, that will not be inside the university. You will have to look for your own accommodation.
Achha,
if you are coming for interns. Yeah. For internship, you cannot get accommodation inside the campus.
So, Saurabh, do we have any other university also in Singapore, though it's a small country? So I have only heard of these two universities, NUS and NTU.
No, SUTD is there, SMU is there, and then there are some Ang Polytechnic University. So that is not for like bachelor. That is for bachelors only, not for masters.
So these two universities which you mentioned, they're also offering technical courses, right?
SUTD is of technical course, but SMU is only for management.
Okay. Now, Saurabh, I'll be publishing this video in a day or two. And this is the time when students are writing exam, GATE exam is in Feb and all, and students are in final year, master students are there. You know the academic, season of India. Please tell me if some student is planning to join NTU, NUS, Singapore universities after BTech, after MTech, somebody is interested to do that. How he should proceed from now?
Like I didn't get like.
No, the question is like, suppose the student is in graduation and he's planning to do MS in Singapore. Or if his graduation, he wants to do PhD in Singapore or MTech to PhD in Singapore. And this particular time, like now, let's say it's December going on. And academic season in India also, you are aware. So what is your suggestion to those students who are doing their graduations or post-graduations in India, if they are planning to go to Singapore or join Singapore in university? So what is your advice? How they can proceed from now?
So actually, like if you are planning to apply for August Intech, then at least you should prepare yourself for you should start mailing to the process 1 year ahead of the application.
Okay.
Because like this process will take a lot of time. Like initially it will take 3-4 months, because this is like 2 and 4 process. You will write mail to the professor. If the professor will be interested, he will again revert back to you, and then you will fix a time schedule, and then, like, it's kind of a time taking thing. So you should give it some time, like 3-4 months at least. That's one thing. And the second thing is that the application starts at least like 4 to 5 months before that intake time.
Okay.
So let's suppose for August intake, the deadline for the application is 31st of January. So you need to finish all the things before that. You need to have your GRE, you need to have a GMAT, you need to have your IELTS scorecard. So everything you need to have before that. Or like if you have some confirmation from some of the professors, that also is good. Because in the application process, you will have to mention the name of the preferred professor under whom you want to do your PhD. So if you have, like, if that professor has already agreed to take you, that's a good option. Like you can just easily mention his name, and your application will go on floating to that professor, and he will accept you. So these are the few things which you need to do before.
Okay, so that means mailing the professor and getting in touch with them is the first stage, and it takes time, and it should be done months before you are planning to go there, right? Saurabh?
Yeah.
So that is wonderful, Saurabh. That exhausts all my questions and queries which I wanted to ask you. Anything you want to tell to the students who must be seeing you and listening to you? Any message from your side?
Actually, sir, I think initially you mentioned that like students from India, they kind of afraid of. I'm not saying afraid of, but they hesitate in mailing to the professors. So just beat that hesitation and start mailing to the professors. That's the first and foremost, the foremost required thing to do. If you want to.
I tell you, there is a reason for that, Saurabh. The reason is, like, in India, we don't have that system. In India, suppose you want to get admission in IITs, whether it is MTech or it is PhD also. If you want to get admission in IITs, students, there is a regular way. I mean, you clear competitive exam and then you apply. The moment there is an interview, then you meet the professor first time. That is there in India.
Yeah. So it's not there. That's one thing. So this is kind of a hesitation, because if I'll remember my days, I was also very hesitant about writing the mail to the professor. I think it took me 1 month to just compile that mail, like what I'm going to mail that professor. So it takes time, and it's like you will hesitate: should I mail to the professor or not? Will he give me a positive reply or not? And just be prepared for one thing also, that you are not going to get a reply on all of your emails. If you send 100 emails, you will get a reply on 5 of them. So this is the kind of ratio of the reply.
But we want one admission only. So even if 5 reply and we convert it into 1, even then it is worth it.
Exactly.
And so mailing will not cost you much. Mailing is not costing you anything.
Mailing is free of cost. Exactly.
That's the benefit. So that is the only thing, Saurabh, I think a student should be aware. You rightly caught the point which I was going to focus, and they should start doing this. They have to come out of that inertia, because this is, as you said in the beginning, this is the most crucial step in the entire process. And if they don't do it, that means their probability and their opportunities are restricted. They need to do this particular process. Right?
Yeah.
So let me again thank you, Saurabh. You spared time, and that is wonderful interacting with you as usual, always. So I wish you all the very best. I'll keep on interacting with you. I interacted with you once when you started your course. Now it is 1 year. You have already into the course. Again, I'll interact with you when you are towards the end side of your PhD. And I'm very sure the inputs which are coming from you will be very, very helpful for the students. So thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Bye-bye, sir.